Welcome to another episode of the Frugal Film Project. For August 2021, I'm switching things up a little bit. Now, I'm still using KODAK ULTRAMAX for the rest of the year, but I switched cameras. For January through June, I used a Holga. For July, I used the Vivitar Ultra Wide and Slim. And for August, I used a Nikon N65. Now, the rules for the project state your camera has to cost less than $50. Well, about 10 years ago, my boss gave me an old Nikon N8008 camera with a 50mm f1.8 lens. Now, the camera was toast, but the lens was fine, so I held on to it. So a little while back, I was cruising eBay, as one does, and came across this Nikon N65 body. I put in a bid and won the auction for $2.25, way under my $50 limit. So I loaded the Nikon N65 with the KODAK ULTRAMAX 400, attached the 50mm lens, and I was ready to go. Now, I'm not a particularly well-read person, but even I know that Charles Dickens' A Tale of Two Cities starts with, "It was the best of times, it was the worst of times." And I think that pretty much sums up the stark contrast between the two subjects I shot on this roll of film. I started the roll with a bright field of sunflowers and some cheerful images of my son and wife, and then did a complete 180 for the second part of the roll, where I explored an abandoned school with absolutely no one in sight. Now, to my eye, both subjects have their own kind of beauty, but they couldn't be more different. One word of caution: if you have delicate sensibilities or a somewhat sensitive disposition, do not try to read all the graffiti on the walls of the abandoned school. I tried to avoid some of the coarser examples, but some of it just couldn't be avoided. As usual, I developed this roll with my Cinestill C41 kit and then scanned the images with my Epson V550 using Epson Scan 2 software. Stick around after the images and I'll share one quirky thing I noticed about the Nikon N65. So a lot of times I'll share the history of the locations I'm shooting, but this time's a little different. I will talk a little bit more about the field of sunflowers in an upcoming video featuring that same field as captured on Portra 400 with my Pentax 6.7. Now as far as that abandoned school is concerned, there are clues about where it is in the video, but I'm not going to talk about the location or the history of it. And the reason for that is it's in pretty bad condition. There's glass everywhere. Vandals have pretty much had their way with the building. Not disclosing locations is apparently pretty common in the urban explorer or urbex community, and there's a couple reasons for that. Part of it is just a safety thing, and part of it is they don't want other people vandalizing these sites even more, and I can respect that. Alright, the quirky thing I noticed about the N65 is that it has a hair trigger. Now it might just be my copy, but I just barely touched the shutter release and it was off to the races. I took at least 1 or 2 pictures I didn't really mean to. It's a little bit like the Olympus XA series in that respect. So outside of the hair trigger, the N65 is a decent, compact autofocus SLR, definitely worth a couple bucks. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up down below, and if you want to catch all my film photography videos, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. If you want to check out some of my shorter videos, you can find me over on TikTok at The Old Camera Guy. That'll do it for this video, so until next time, do some good, have some fun, and shoot some film.